We hate doubt. So in an effort to reduce doubt, we lower our goals so that we don't have to deal with it. There's nothing as damaging with setting goals as trying to set a positive goal with a negative perspective. You should try to find people who raise your belief, not lower. And we have to be willing to cut some people out who don't do this. When you don't believe you deserve something, you're existing in shame, you're existing in guilt, you will literally not even see the opportunity. We get to choose what our experience is through our expectations. You always get what you expect. If you have goals in your life that require no faith, those aren't goals. You're just playing with training wheels. Sam Walton, ever heard of him? Great man. Built a small little company called Walmart. And he said in his biography, he said, high expectations are the key to everything. What do you expect? What do you expect is going to happen when you go back home? What do you expect is going to happen next year if the economy is not good? Well, we get to pick. We get to live in whatever economy we want to live in. We get to choose what our experience is through our expectations. They did a study, this was 15, 16 years ago, where they would line up Israeli soldiers, and they marched them all 40 kilometers. But one group, they told them that they were going to march 60 kilometers. They only marched them 40. Another group, they told them they were going to march them 30 kilometers, and they marched them 40. You see what these psychologists do to us? Just freaking lie and trick and get human data. This is basically what they do. Just, how do we track this if we tell them this? You know. He's laughing because he's like, yeah, you're supposed to do this on rats, bro, not people. But anyways, they line them up. They have one group. You're going to march 60 kilometers. Boom. You're going to march 30 kilometers, but they marched them all 40. Got it? The group that was expecting to march 60 and marched 40 had higher stress levels than the group that marched 40 but was told 30. Why? Expectation. The cortisol levels were psychological, based on expectation. So it's a really good thing to sit down and to start having these moments when you're like, okay, help me tune my expectations for this thing. There's no base law for this. It's not like, oh, you should always expect it's going to be, what do they say? It's going to take twice as long and cost twice as much. Genius. Now it's going to take twice as long and cost twice as much. What are you doing? Just programming the world for destruction. What you expect is going to happen. So when you're like, hey, I hate to break it to you, you have these friends who are just like, they think that their gift and their role in your life is to lower your expectations. It's like, that's what they think they were born to do. Oh man, it's not going to be that easy. I just don't want you to get hurt, you know. It's not going to be that easy. You're probably not going to, be a billionaire. These are like the worst friends ever. I hate these people. And then I just never talk to them again. Just cut them out. Because you get what you expect. You always get what you expect. Now, the delay is still in the process, but you're going to get what you expect. You should try to find people who raise your belief, not lower. And we have to be willing to cut some people out who don't do this. What's the story in the Bible about the person who hit his arrow on the ground 3 times, and the prophet got mad at him because he was like, if you would have hit it for 5, I would have wiped out the whole thing. You got what you asked for. Remember the story from yesterday? The $600,000, bam, manifested it, great. And the Holy Spirit's like, yeah, if you would have said 0, I would have given you 0. Why are you telling me that now? You just told me that before. Well, because it wouldn't have been perfect. I wouldn't have been able to teach on it. It would have stripped away meaning from it. So what do we do when we get into this realm of goal setting? We're going to create our future. I think it was Alfred Adler who was the first person that really took teleology from an energy standpoint and put it into the mind. Was it Adler? Alfred Adler. Teleology is the idea that whatever you're looking at or reaching for it has a positioning and preparatory effect on you. You physically change. Your optics change. How is this substantiated? I mean, RAS will substantiate it, but it's also deeper than that. Something in your brain, when you're going for something, changes who you are. This is teleology. You are prepared for the things you're going for. So with goals, one of the mistakes that we make is we set our goals to the radio dial of historical realism. It's like a dial. You can tune your dial and tune into different frequencies. And what we'll do is we'll sit down, we'll come up with the goal. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Oh, that's too big, but I could see this happening. So let's dial it down a little bit. I'm going to set my goal a little bit lower. I've done this a million times. Anybody else? Because I don't know how to do it, I can't set that as a goal. You know why? Because it's not smart. It's not attainable. So smart goals are fine if you're looking at corporate management, but when it comes to quantum, existence, identity, you want to fight that. We want to dial up. In fact, if you have a goal in your life right now that you know exactly how it's going to accomplish or happen, it's not good. I don't like it. Change it. Like right now, just go change it, or tonight, whatever you need to do, because what you're doing is you're breaking the progression of spiritual alchemy. You're breaking it. You're putting yourself in a Newtonian wheel when it's not run by the Newtonian wheel. Nothing in the spirit cares about your gravity. They don't care. They don't care if it's realistic. Was it realistic for Elijah to run faster than a horse? Nah. Has anybody tried? It's interesting we do it, put ourselves in the position I'm going to do what he did. It's not realistic, but did it happen? Did it happen? Just kidding, I got you. We're good. You're never going to go to sleep again. I just have to give you guys a little boom. We gotta wake up. It was super unrealistic for everyone who accomplished something big. It was unrealistic until they did it. Then it was realistic. But if we get trapped in that, we will lower our capacity for creativity, imagination, ingenuity, and we'll just repeat the same cycles over and over. The problem and the reason why we lower our goals is because we know intuitively that we don't like doubt. We know we don't like it. So laws of God are written on the human heart. So we freaking know. We were programmed to not have doubt. We hate it. How many of you are like, yo, come to this event. It's going to make you so confused and you have so much doubt when you leave. You want to come? $5,000. He'll give you the most doubt you've ever had in your life, man. No, we hate that. We hate doubt. So in an effort to reduce doubt, we lower our goals so that we don't have to deal with it. Which is sort of makes sense, right? Makes sense why we would do that. But what we're actually supposed to do is we're supposed to change the relationship we have with knowing how to do it. Certainty requires no foresight. Certainty requires no foreknowledge. Certainty, real certainty. I'm not talking about scientific, you do the math, 2 + 2 = 4. I'm certain. How are you certain? How are you certain that 2 + 2 = 4? Some of us have never thought this deeply about goals before. How do you know? Prove it to me. Please prove it to me. This is like basic math, guys. Did you go to school? You're telling me that my experience is false, sir? A lot of accountants have managed through bankruptcy. Can anyone prove it to me? No one can prove it to me? Memory, models, mission. For you to prove something to me requires either a memory of it being true, you have to show me a model which disproves everything else, But we have real experiences with real entrepreneurs who saw a number in a bank account, rejected it, and then kept going. Well, it's not mathematically accurate. Elon Musk, when he was about to file for bankruptcy for Tesla, he had enough payroll for one motorcycle. This is when Tesla was a small little company. And he went into his board meeting and he said, if you guys bring the capital, you can keep ownership. If not, I'll put my own capital in it. The problem is he had no capital. He basically lied. He had no money. And somehow the world tilted to his certainty. He's like richest person in history. He goes back and forth. You have the same exact story with people like Sam Walton. Sam Walton started his chain of stores in Arkansas. He didn't know how to deal with commercial leases. And so the store started getting big. They took the lease away from him. And he had nowhere to put all of his produce. What did he do? It'll be an interesting thing for you to go find out. Write that down to research it later tonight. Basically the same template. These guys just roll through. They just don't stop. They've got certainty. Their goals are huge. And they do not respect anything in the middle that tells them they're not going to achieve it. It's disrespect. They're just disrespectful to obstacles. So when we set goals, if we want to survive, if we want to win at our goals, we have to get ourselves into a position where we have goals that are big enough that they require faith, not the absence of doubt. They require real certainty. We have to make them big to do that. If you have goals in your life that require no faith, those aren't goals. You're just playing with training wheels. We need them to get bigger. We need them to get bigger. We got to 10x them. Not like Grant Cardone thing, maybe 100x them. We have to make them so big we can't figure out how to do them. And then all of a sudden you just have this feeling of like, I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And if you can stay ruthlessly committed to the outcome, the goal, the thing you're trying to do, you'll start to watch the world just start spinning around and coming into place for you. Make sense? This requires us to get into the levels of energy for the first time. We're going to touch it. I'm going to briefly explain it, and then we're going to move on. How are we doing? You guys hungry? About ready for lunch? Okay, levels of energy. Here we go. This is through the work of Dr. Hawkins. It is extremely theoretical. So when you study this, you got to know there's a lot of theory. So some things are less theory. They're more like we saw this under a microscope and you looked at it. This is more theoretical because it's energy. Actually, scratch that. 100% of every single thing inside of quantum study is theoretical. 100% of it. None of it's proven. We'll never be able to really prove it. But it happens so often that it's become a theory. Make sense? Just don't want to get in trouble. At the bottom, these lower levels of energy, this is where you kind of start feeling extremely agitated when you're around these people. They will make you feel things you don't want to feel. You have shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear. Fear is at level 100. There's a scale on this, level 0 to level 1000. Fear is at level 100, and fear is kind of the break point between the things that you feel that if you stay there, they'll kill you, versus the things that give you a little bit of forward momentum. If a person lives in grief for too long, they cellularly begin to die. If a person lives in shame for too long, they can't support new life. They die. Whether that's by their own decisions that have become warped through the feeling, or whether their body just decides to give up. And we know people that are like this. And it's heartbreaking. Because they so believe that they deserve to be sick that they will never get well. Right? Medicine can't heal these people. You can't heal them without getting their energy moved up. So there's some of the guys who created this. Then they're masterful at it. They'll go into rooms and they'll speak. And they can tell like what's the level of energy because you can train it. We can have hybrid kinesiologist devices that track the levels of energy. They could put a measurement device on this notebook and they could pull energy out of it. It's really crazy. So they'll go into these rooms and they will have a room full of apathetic people. Just don't care. Apathy. What does it mean to be apathetic? It means you no longer care. You don't even have enough energy to care. You're just like, whatever. And to get them bumped up, these guys will literally sit in front of a room and they'll try to make people angry. Because anger is better than apathy. I went through a season of my life one time, this may be TMI, I don't know, but we'll just go for it, where there were so many things that I was comparing me to, and I was comparison oriented. You know, how do I know that I'm winning? Because I beat everyone else. Athlete, I've got to make more money than you. If I don't, I'm going to do it next month. This is my identity. I have to beat everyone. Comparison trap. And if you don't go into anger, you go into the lower levels. So you have to latch onto one of these things. You are going to go through these levels of energy. It's not that you avoid it entirely, it's that you learn not to stay there. You're going to have to feel grief to get free from grief. You're going to have to feel apathetic at times to recognize what apathy is and then get free from it. It's the people who are unwilling to feel that end up getting taken out of the game because of it. There's no Mithridatism. There's no experience with it. They can't clock it. We've met people where it's just like they don't even know what they feel. Those are the most dangerous types of people because they can get stuck in these places and not ever know it. And so I was super driven by status, and I wanted to be the best, and I wanted to do all these things. And I was talking with a coach one time, and this coach said, yeah, you know that, you know how angry you feel when you feel like you're behind? And I said, how do you know that? This is our second conversation. And he said, I saw it. I just looked at you and I saw it. I was trained on all this stuff. There's some people who are like, they can literally see you. I was like, yeah, I do get really angry. I get angry when I don't win. I get angry when other people build me. He said, do you know where that came from? I said, no. And he said, God used that. Because if you don't get angry, you fall into guilt and shame and apathy. And so for a season of your life, God actually helped you respond to it through anger so that you get trapped in apathy. I was like, well, that's really deep. I need to think about that. He said, yeah, but you can't stay in anger. Because if you stay in anger, somebody like you will literally burn the whole world and call it good. So you have to get out of anger. But for a season, it was the best thing for you. Notice what he's doing, neutralizing judgment, neutralizing shame. So when we feel this stuff, we're like, man, I really don't like what's inside of me right now. Okay, don't label it. Just acknowledge it. Write it down. Now, how do I get beyond that into the higher levels? Usually you have to go through the portal of fear to get to the higher levels. Fear is the big multiplier. It's a level 100. After you get through fear, you have desire. But desire is not helpful to life. Desire doesn't create. Desire, if you stay in desire for too long, what does it sound like? I want this thing. I want this thing. I want this thing. I want this thing. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. Desire is not what's going to do it for you, but it's better than apathy. And then you have anger, which is over desire. So anger actually has more power than desire. So we step up through these things. Let's get into the middle level. Courage. What does courage mean? Yeah, it's risky. I'm doing it anyways. Courage is great. Neutrality. What is neutrality? When Paul's saying, to live is gain, to die is Christ. Neutral, checkmate. There ain't nothing you can do to me that will make me change. Neutrality. So neutrality has a lot of power in it. Willingness. What does it mean to be willing? If you're willing, it means that you will accept the consequences and the sacrifices it takes to go into that thing. And most of us have extremely willing spirits and extremely limited capacity to go do that. So we have to train. The spirit is willing, the flesh is. The spirit's usually already willing. It's like, let's go. It's going to hurt. Cool, let's go. This is how your spirit talks. Hey, this is going to be hard. Yes, let's go. It's that's when you find out what you're made of, when you compare how does my spirit feel about something versus how does my logical brain feel about something. Pick one. Willingness is usually a trait of your spirit man. Acceptance, what does it mean to accept? Non-judgmental. So we practice first and foremost acceptance on ourselves, and how we treat ourselves is how we treat other people. If you don't accept yourselves, you're not going to accept other people. This is different than toleration, by the way. I can stand against your behavior and still support and accept you as a person. That's okay. But when we find the person who's always judging everyone else, you got to understand that man in his closet is judging himself. No one hates you. You don't have haters. They don't hate you. They hate themselves, literally. Therefore, they cannot stand that another human being would get free. We practice on ourselves. We give it to other people. Reason is where we're touching the higher level. Reason, love. You go even higher than that, and you have joy. Joy is level 540. When you have a view of your life being complete, you are at the level of joy. You feel like your life is complete? Then we ain't at joy yet. So sometimes we have to ask for joy. We can ask for it, then we can get it. It's crazy, crazy hard for the body to get sick when you're at joy. Really hard. It can happen for like a minute, but you typically don't get sick when you're calibrating at joy, because there's nothing in your body that can be weaponized, just complete. Above that, we have peace. When you look at your life and you feel like it's perfect, you're calibrating it. Peace, level 600. You ever felt like your life is perfect, or just had a moment when it feels perfect? You can remember, write these things down. What's going on? What triggered you into that position? So we all been sitting at dinner with someone we love and just realized, oh, this is perfect. This is a perfect moment. Perfect moment. Okay, anxiety can't survive in a peaceful calibration. So we get to look for these things. Then you have enlightenment, which is at the top. They can calibrate basically where people are based on their level of energy. Does this make sense? Yes or no? You want to keep going? There was a study in 2003 by Richard Wiseman, and Richard Wiseman split these participants into two groups. One group, he would ask, so Scott, we're going to divide you guys into groups. The answer is no before I ask you this question. Do you believe you're a lucky person? No. Okay, you go over there. Do you believe you're a lucky person? Yes. You go over there. This is all they did. Make sense? Yeah, bunch of people over here, bunch of people over there. And then he had them walk to a destination, but before they walked, he would drop $5 notes on the sidewalk. And these people picked them up, and these people didn't even see them. Whoa. Why?
The RAS.
Yeah, rejected. Didn't even see that. It wasn't relevant because it didn't substantiate a worldview. This is crazy. Are you a lucky person? Yes. Now you are. Are you a lucky person? You a lucky person? You know what they train us to do when we're growing up is I don't want luck, I want skill. They're deprogramming the whole species. Luck's part of the equation, but when you believe that you don't deserve something, it has the same neutralizing effect. When you don't believe you deserve something, you're existing in shame, you're existing in guilt, you will literally not even see the opportunity. It will be right in front of you. I will see it, you won't. Therefore, we behave differently and we have different lives. Part of how we train this luck mechanism is through setting our goals and attaching it to the way we view ourselves. So we have 14 minutes. And I'm going to give you guys some primers for us to do one more exercise before we get fat. Price Pritchett said this: you need not to predict exactly how things will work out. All you need to do is to intend and know that it is possible, and it will be arranged to come to you. Sounds too easy. If it sounds too easy, you might be viewing yourself the wrong way. Because if you're the person who just attracts luck and attracts opportunity, it doesn't really sound too easy, does it? So you're telling yourself who you are by how you respond to these statements. It's a lot easier than we think. Researchers, while I'm taking you through the goal setting, researchers have identified that optimism and pessimism are not two poles on a scale. They're not the same thing. They're in different realms. They're separate dimensions. So you can't just be like, are you lucky? Yeah, I'm an optimist. Not the same thing. And you know those chatty Cathys who are always being like trying to reframe you and not ever let you complain? That's not healthy either. What's healthy is to understand, am I willing to pay the cost of this negativity, and can I afford it? There will be seasons of your life where if you can't reframe it, if you can't reappraise it, just don't say anything. Buy a journal, become its best friend, and be quiet. Here we go. That's why I have a journal. In my journal, I tell myself everything that I would never tell another human about how I don't like things. And then I reappraise it. There's two things you can do with negative thoughts. You can replace it completely, or you can reappraise it. What does replacement look like? How do we do it? I promise I'm going to feed you in just 1 minute. It's not this, it's that. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about that. So like, I'm thinking about the idea of like, oh, the economic, crash of a century is coming up. Brad told me we're all going to, lose our money, and it's probably true. And so, okay, no, like grass. The grass is so pretty. I love the color green. Just give me something else to think about. Sometimes we have to be crazy, or else you're literally just going to let that poison get all into you. Sometimes it's literally as simple as like, if I keep focusing on the tantrum of this 2-year-old in front of me, I might throw him out in the freaking dumpster. The quick, Mom, think about something different. We do this with our kids sometimes. It's like the whole world is collapsing. We're cascading. Everything is broken because we couldn't blow up a balloon, and we don't know what to do. Our opportunities are over. It's like, do you like lollipops? What's your favorite color? Blue. How big would a lollipop have to be as big as our house? And all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, that's pretty big. And we're no longer obsessed with the balloon. We've replaced the thought. We're really not that different than kids, though. So sometimes we have to like do this with ourselves. I'm just not going to think about this thing. But, froyo sounds pretty amazing. Let's think about froyo for a second. Love froyo. And it can be whatever you want. The second that you can do is reappraisal. It doesn't mean this. Reappraisal doesn't mean this. I'm thinking about a situation in my life where I failed, and I'm getting dragged and bogged down by the guilt and the shame. Hold on. Does it really mean that I failed, or did I learn something that I need to know the next time? And we can reappraise cognitively. We can use our resources mentally to reappraise something. There's nothing as damaging with setting goals as trying to set a positive goal with a negative perspective. So we want to neutralize negativity through replacement and through reappraisal. Does that make sense? I'm giving you guys a lot. Are you taking it in? Okay. Here's the exercise I want us to do. I want you to think about your biggest goal. Think about your biggest goal. It could be money, it could be business, it could be relationships, it could be whatever. I want to move to Nashville. It's a great idea. It's a good goal, Brandon. Biggest goal, okay? Then I want you to make it at least 10 times bigger. If it's, I want to have a podcast that reaches 100,000 women a month with whatever I'm doing. Well, what's 100,000 times 10? 1 million. You make it bigger. I want to have a property that's got 2 acres on it in Franklin, Tennessee, where we can just watch the horses. Well, 20 acres. Let's go 20 acres. Make it bigger. Make it big enough that you don't have any idea how you're going to do it. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Now, after this, I want you to spend the remainder of your time on the exercise visualizing that it has already happened and what's on your schedule to do in this reality next Tuesday morning. Does that make sense? We got it? It should take you 30 seconds to write your goal down, not 3 minutes. Okay, how many of you have a little bit of doubt right now? I'm not going to microscopically look at your faces. No doubt, doubt, yeah? A little bit. What do we do with it? Face it. What specifically can we do with it right now? How would we neutralize it? Okay, you can reject it. If you reject it, it's not going to go away, though. It'll just keep coming back. How do we neutralize it? We need certainty. Yeah. Which is progress towards it, fail, keep progressing. So you can also do this through repeated exposure. The consistency element will slowly start to sort of just like, why would I doubt what I have seen with my eyes? Does anyone seriously doubt that I'm a real person? Anybody think I'm a holograph? Anybody doubt me being a male? No? Assuming I'm a person, does anybody have any doubt or whether I'm a male? I want you to develop a bit of a, you know that like Mean Girls? You see Mean Girls? It's like, it's a little bit of a, what? Who are you? Who are you to think something about me? It's a little delusional, but also a bit disrespectful. So we're not talking about another person. We're talking about something in my head. Got a little bit of doubt. Who are you? I've seen it. I'm not going to sit down. Come, let us negotiate together. I mean, I don't even know who you are. Why would I listen to you? It's not our brains. It's a piece of data that we will either build on or we will ignore. This is the most painful thing for a human being, is not to be publicly spit at. It's to be ignored. Psychologically, there is nothing you can do to hurt another human being that hurts as much as ignoring them. They're not even important enough for you to acknowledge them. So when that happens, things begin to retreat. So I just want to ignore it. I want to build up certainty over here, completely ignore. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my effort. It's not worth anything. It's nothing. If it gets in my way a little bit, it's starting to creep into my mind without my permission. This is a spiritual issue at this point. So we can actually be like, you know what? Fine. I rebuke you. Never talk to me again. Keeps coming? No, I rebuke that. I'm never talking to that again. I don't listen to that. We're not going to fight it because what we resist persists. We're not going to give it power. If you begin to start fighting this stuff in your head, all you're doing is feeding it. It's going to resist. It's got to resist it. And it's like using your strength against you, like BJJ. It's going to take you out. What I'm going to do is completely ignore it. It's nothing to me. It's not a person, though. It's a thought.